Alright, so in the last video we were talking about seeding down some alfalfa here, and I went to start this tractor and it would start up, run for a second, shut right off. Of course, I didn't have the service truck over here. We'll show you what it does. So that's what it does. So I called over to Kaz Equipment to talk to Jake. He had no mechanics that were able to get to us, so he gave us a couple of ideas to try. And one of them is we've got to make sure we're getting good power and that we're not running into a bad connection going into the computers that are plugged into the cab. So we're going to get this panel off and we're going to see if we can't maybe figure this out on our own. It doesn't show any codes for him to dig into anything to see what all is going on. So we're going to get some tools here and we're going to go ahead and get it opened up. Let's take this off and see what this looks like in behind here. Oh, he said there should be a heavy lug here. It's going to be on this side. He wanted to make sure we are getting good power. You might want to take this lug right off and clean it up a little bit. Maybe we'll tap on it and try starting it and see if that changes anything. Can't guarantee anything. I don't know if I have the right size here. That must be 16. Alright, probably wouldn't hurt to get the blowgun out and blow this all off in here. A lot of dirt and what have you. Alright, we've got this lug here that's a little rusty. This one down here. And we'll go ahead and just take them up, clean them up a little bit, and then we'll get them put back on. I don't know if that's the right spot, but that's what we're going to try. Hello? What's it doing? Really? Huh. Well, I'll shut it off for a second. Great. Great. This 8360 starts and shuts off. Yeah, starts and shuts off. I had to get home to get tools. And, you know, I don't know. So, yeah, good stuff. Alright, I don't know. I gotta work at this. Just tell him to sit there a while, and I've gotta work at this for a while so I can report back to Jake as to what I find. So, alright. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, this doesn't seem like it was getting a bad connection. Seems like this was all connected good. So we're just going to tighten this up and then try it and then move on to the next spot here. Alright, let's see what this does. Yeah, I can't believe that fixed it. It's almost like I made up or invented this frickin' problem. Oh, what a pain in the butt. Oh well. Looking at that, I would have had to have guessed that that was an okay connection. I worry about taking them other two studs off because I don't want to break them. So we'll get this cover on, and I better report back to Jake so that he can put his mind at ease. He's got a lot of things on his table right now. There's other guys trying to get corn planters going, and I don't need him to have to worry about my problem anymore. So I'm gonna get with him, let him know what's going on, and he can scratch this problem off his list. All right, so Andrew's had a problem with this, and I think I know what it is, but I haven't dug into it yet. See my tracks there? I pulled this far. It didn't like it even in 6th gear, so We're gonna get this hood opened up. I think what he did is I think there's a turbo boot that has blown apart on it or is missing. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Oh. Yeah. So the clamp come off.
Huh.
Ah. Damn it. The chances of having that V clamp are slim to none, but maybe it's laying down in there.
Yeah.
I imagine it broke.
Wow.
Alright, we might have one back at the farm, but grab my tape measure out of the cab of that truck. Like 4 3/4. Alright, well I got about enough time to maybe get a hold of Jake. Maybe he can look that up quickly for us, but how far did you pull it?
I can probably show you.
Ah,
Yeah, you can
boy.
see his tracks.
I gotta imagine that thing probably broke and probably no chance in
Finding.
hell finding it.
No, you were
No,
back
I
there.
I pulled it this far. You were parked right here.
Yeah, he was up there when he stopped.
But I'm wondering if how long that would run like that.
Yeah, if it just didn't.
I imagine it broke. But I also assume that, well, damn it. No. You know what we could do? Sarah could go back and look for one at the farm. Hey Siri, call Jake. Hey Jake, 9620, just a boost leak. V clamp broke on the left side of the intercooler. It goes into the. Now I'm looking for the clamp now. Can't even really describe it. But it's on the left side of the engine. Coming off of the intercooler, there's a cast elbow that comes into. I don't even know what it comes into. But that V clamp broke or loosened up and fell off. So I imagine it's the same size truck one. Yeah. Work. Yeah. So yeah, I'll have something if I don't, and Napa should be able to get something too. So just wanted to put your mind at ease so you can scratch those two problems off your list if that helps you out at all. Yeah. Well, if your mind is uneasy, I don't want that be because of me. So, all right. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a good night. Yeah, we'll see ya. Bye. Alright, so we had no luck finding that guy on the ground. There I go with that accent again. It probably broke. That's why it probably came off, but I was just taking a chance that we maybe could have found it just on the ground, maybe just a loose nut, and we would get her fixed. So it is what it is. So we'll get back to the farm and grab a clamp. Well, now we're pulling back into the field now. We've got 4 clamps with us. Looks like Sarah's making some good headway there. For a minute there, I didn't think that tractor was running. If that wasn't running, that wouldn't be a good thing. So the 9620 is 300-400 yards, couple hundred, 300 yards that way anyways. We're gonna get Andrew fixed up. We're hoping that we have the right size clamp. We had an assortment of some new ones, and I even took one off of the C5. The C5's got the same kind of engine, almost the same displacement, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's got the same clamp on it. So we'll get over to that tractor. They've got about, I don't know, 35, 40 acres left here. And we got the stone pickers right on over there. And the roller is making its way this way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on the far side and we're gonna work our way back towards the road. That way, when I get done, I don't have to drive the grain drill from one side of the field to the other, not planting nothing. So we spent, today will be the 4th day that we've picked stone in here. It's in pretty good shape, other than them little knobs there. So let's see what we have for a clamp. We want to park out of his way, because he's just itching to get in this thing and get moving. All right, so, I think I need to climb up on the tire and take a seat right down in there. Ugh. Ugh. Watch yourself there. If I fall, I don't want to fall on top of you. Why don't you hold this camera? Alright, so this is the one we took off the C5. This one's similar. So let's see which one it's going to be. I'd like it to be this one, to be honest with you. You know that, Andrew?
Mm.
That way I'm going to replace the one that's on the C5. I want to drop my nut. Right there. Where's this fit on here? Oh, that might do the trick. Oh boy, I think that's going to do it, Bob.
Perfect.
Perfect is right. We need to get this moving again, you know?
Mm.
Perfect. I would have never guessed that it was that new one, that new clamp we had.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't take the one off the C5, it probably definitely wouldn't have worked. We did measure it, but it's hard to. Alright, well, let me jump down off of here. Alright, let me close this hood. Now, make sure you lift this blade frame up.
Yeah.
Digging.
That'd be great.
Alright, let's get something done. No more breakdowns.
Yeah.
Alright, giddy up. Alright. That sounds a lot more gooder. Ain't walking right along now. I know some of you are probably wondering, gee, what was wrong with the transmission in this? Well, we're not really sure. Jared went to check the oil on it one day. Oil was a little low. It's got an Allison transmission in it. He said, you know what, this transmission's toast anyways. The oil smelled freaking burnt. So he put regular hydraulic oil in it. And ever since then, it's been fine. So if you got an old tired transmission and it doesn't owe you anything, try hydraulic oil in it. Get on with the grain drill. Now, if you recall a few days ago, or a couple of videos ago, or what have you, we had a lake right here. I brought the backhoe up in and dug across areas of it, trying to get it to, trying to break up the hard ground underneath to get this water to disappear. However, it hasn't dried out as much as I'd like to see it yet, anyway. So I'm afraid we're probably not going to be able to plant that spot. We'll have to come back in here in the summertime, scratch it, get her planted. So we better go ahead and fire up this grain drill and get it moved to that back field. About 2 hours later than I figured on, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So let's get moved on back there. Alright, so I have to power down and then power back up again after these displays decide who's going to be boss here. We got a 46-40 display that we're going to document off of, and we're going to use auto steer off of it. The wire harness for the G5 display and the 320R. Well, I didn't have a wire harness for this one to plug into this tractor, so I robbed the wire harness from the G5. I fired this tractor up. I forgot to plug this display in. As soon as the tractor fired up, it was going off of just this display. So then when I told, plug this one in, then it said, oh, you have another display. So we need to decide who's going to be boss here. In other words, which one do you want to document from? Which one do you want to use auto steer from? We have to have you assign that, and then we have to power down and then power back up, and that's what we're doing now. Hopefully this doesn't have a problem like we had when we started with this tractor today. I don't want to wait till I get all the way back in that back field, power down and power up, and have to walk to the service truck. So let's hope that everything comes to life here the way it's supposed to. All right, well, takes forever. All right, both went to sleep. All right, coming to life. Tractor would have shut off by now if it had a problem. Let's go on and get it. Let's see here. I've got to power this display, or power this remote. Hit that. All of the drills are up. And And I want to make sure that we're not documenting right now. Kind of need that display to fire up. So let's go ahead and get on back there. We're just gonna drive this right on cross lots. Years ago, there used to be a trolley track that ran across this field. It's just right up in front of us here. It ran from Syracuse all the way to, I believe, Atisco Lake. It's this hump right here. They only ran this trolley for, I don't know, a few years. And then they shut it down because people didn't want to use it. So this is the trolley track bed right here. It goes right on that way, west, across Tuscarora Golf Course. And then it runs along 9 Mile Creek down next to 174. And then clear from there all the way down to Atisco Lake. So we got the roller on yonder. We got Sarah just passed in front of us, and Andrew's coming up and behind her. They aren't using GPS, by the way. However, we've got to get a receiver plugged into that 9620. I think that's got the larger display. This has got just the, I don't know if they call it a Gen 3, but at any rate, it's a Gen 4 display in that 6R, 9620R. And that display, you can't move auto steer back and forth from. In other words, if you have a subscription on like 2630, I might be speaking out of turn here. I think you can move auto steer. I think you can still do it now. Move auto steer from these smaller displays from one to the other and back and forth. I think you can still do that with a 2630 going back and forth, I think, into this display. But the Gen 4 display, once you buy auto steer for it, it stays with the display. We do have an auto steer subscription on that 7290R because we use that to mow hay with. And yeah, that's correct. We have one with that. So, all right, we'll get to the field and get to the field we're gonna plant first, and then we'll join up with you. Well, we're into the next day. I've got a pallet of seed that I'm going to go ahead and put into the grain drill. We've got stone pickers already here, and Mike is running around here with a roller. I got the 9620 parked up. We're not going to use that until Andrew gets out of school. Now, I'm a little late getting over here. I had a flat tire on the mixer this morning that I had to change out. And we had a little rain shower at the farm, so I wasn't at all in too much of a hurry to get going. However, it didn't rain over here. So it's probably a good thing I didn't know that it didn't rain over here, because that flat tire frustrated me a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this guy up. Make sure that this doesn't have any problems before we get going, because if it does, we'll have to do the same thing we did here last night. We'll have to make sure that we must have a good connection with that computer that's on the back of the cab here. So let's go ahead and get our seed loaded. What I do is I put the bags of seed in the large seed bins here, And then of course the seed goes in the small box on the back of the drill. We can get about 350 pounds of seed in these small boxes. And usually what I do is I fill up every 6 acres. So I go 6-7 acres, dump 3 bags in. And the reason why I only go 6 acres is because these boxes, what they do, you can kind of see what this one's done. The seed moves away from the end. And if you let this get down to half full or so, you will run into an issue where rows will be out of seed. So I find it's better just to fill up more frequently. So I need to get some empty bags out of here, and I have a fair amount of seed still left in here, but I don't have enough to do the whole day. So we'll go ahead and get our empties out and get our full ones in. Well, we've got all of our seed loaded in the big part of the grain drill, which this is where you would put wheat, oats, soybeans if you planted soybeans with it. Or we just put the bags in the drill here. Then I can stop anywhere I want in the field. I haven't got to go driving back to a pickup truck that's staged next to the road. Now we had a bag naturally on the bottom of the pallet that had a little bitty hole in it, and of course you see we've got seed all spilled out into the back of the truck. This seed is about $500 a bag, 50-pound bag. Yeah, there's a few dollars there, about $10 a pound if I'm doing the math correctly. So we're gonna go ahead and vacuum that up. One of the guys wanted this vacuum cleaner over here to vacuum glass out of the So we got that all collected, and we'll just pour it right back in the grain drill. All right. All right, so we have made it around this field 3 times. And we've come up with 35.86 acres to get around this field 3 times. So that's quite a few acres tied up in just headlands. But when we get done with this field, we'll show you what it actually looks like on the shape file itself. We're gonna have to come back in this summer once this dries up and plant that section there. So right now we're gonna go way over to this far side of the field, and we're going to start on the far side and work our way towards the road here. Mike has this all rolled, and now what he's going to do is he's going to go in to the back field that I started with last night, and he's going to start rolling that field, and then he'll come into this one and roll in behind the grain drill They're talking about rain here at maybe 5, 6 o'clock. I don't think I'm gonna have this field done, but we should have a pretty good chunk knocked down in it. So the longest part of the field is right to our left. And once we get to, this is where the trolley tracks went through, went right through there. There's the first knoll that has rock in it. And there's another island there, and then the field starts to shorten up and get all goofy like with the shape of it. But we're gonna plant this east and west and just deal with the little nooks and whatever that are in it. Well, here we are, kids. It is just about 7 p.m. and the rain has hauled out for quite a while. Who's that?
Yeah, Mike, it's your call.
Yeah, keep going. I'm gonna pull out here in a little while, so go until it starts sticking to the roll.
Got it. Oil on it.
Yeah, you're not on channel 2020, are you? Alright, so it is sprinkled here for a little bit. I have filled up for my last time. I don't dare open up the seed box of the grain drill. And we have from the grain drill over to the woods there left to do. About 15 acres. Actually, a little more than 15 acres left to do here. So it is just before, just right around 7 o'clock, and I thought we were going to get rained out about 5. Maybe had I not changed out that flat tire on the mixer wagon this morning, maybe we would have just about got this done, but I felt that we were moving right along. I didn't waste any time today. I have been just clicking right along. So Mike's running the roller and he's wondering how much longer he should be able to go here. Looks like it's just starting to stick to the rolls. I would like to make maybe one more pass just that I could get a little bit more seed out of this grain drill. Therefore, if we have to vacuum the seed box out in the morning, we can. And clean out the little metering wheels. But we're supposed to get a 1/2 inch, or we could possibly get a 1/2 inch of rain overnight tonight. Sarah moved on to the Cleverly farm, the disc in ruts over there. And the 9620 and disc is sitting right over on the edge of the field. They have gotten all of the stones picked over here. And they have, of course, left the field. This mound right to our right is where the trolley tracks went through. They come in down at that end of the field there and they went all the way across. We've talked about this several times during this video and the previous video. So we're thinking we're gonna maybe make one more round and then we're going to pull on out of here, get the grain drill home and get it inside so that the bulk of the rain that we get tonight doesn't end up soaking them meter units too much, because what happens is that seed swells up, because what happens is it starts to grow and it will actually plug the seed cup. It'll plug the seed cup and then no more seed can come out of the metering rolls and then you'll have a skip. So I had a little bit of a problem getting going here last night. I had to plant a ways and I had to keep cleaning out the thick seed. So we'll make one more trip down and back, and then we are going to, of course, pull on out of half. We are getting into the longest part of the field, and it would plant pretty quick as far as, well, it's not going to plant pretty quick, but the acreage per hour, we'd be able to move right along with collecting acres here. But unfortunately, we're going to have to mosey on out of here. But we did start from the far side and work this way, so that in the event that it rains like it's doing now, we wouldn't be way over on the far side of the field and have to drive ourselves across the field in the wetter conditions, and then have to do the same to get back out to the far side of the field. So with that being said, that is gonna do it for this video. We've got about 40 acres left that I want to seed. There's I don't know, 18 acres or so, 20 acres left in this field, 12 acres down the road, and another 15 or so acres left a few miles away from here. So that is gonna do it. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we will catch you at the next one. We should be back to working on the corn planter, providing we get enough rain overnight, and providing that it continues to rain on through tomorrow. We've got the tanks on there, as you can see. We've got most of the plumbing done. However, we need to bring each tube into the row units itself and put the manifolds on. We haven't done that much yet. We haven't done that stuff yet, but we haven't really had a lot of time to work on it here. We've been picking stone and putting seed, alfalfa seed, in the ground. So it's just starting to stick to the tires, so we are going to have to pull out of here once we get back down to the other end of the field. So again, thanks for watching, and we will catch you at the next one.